Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Real Talk with a Unicorn. My name is Tatiana and I'm recruiter in supply chain and logistics. I'm happy and delighted to introduce my today's guests, Tran, Director of Bridging Programs at ACCESS Employment, and oversees ongoing growth of labor market development programs, and Liliana Lewandowski, Project Manager at ACCESS Employment. Liliana oversees Supply Chain Connections Program that helps newcomer professionals connect with Canadian employers. The reason I decided to have this conversation today with you, Liliana and Han, is that as a recruiter, I work with multiple clients, and I realized that these days in the market, there are still many employers who, first of all, don't know what ACCESS Employment is and what you guys do. And second of all, they may not realize the talent pool that they're missing when they're opening their jobs in supply chain logistics and other sectors. So before we start, welcome Liliana, welcome Han.
Thank you. Thank you for having us
today. Yeah.
My pleasure. So can you tell us briefly what ACCESS Employment does, a little bit of the history, and then we can start talking about the added value that you bring to the market?
Sure. History itself, we've been around for quite some time, over 33 years. So we're, ACCESS has one S. So ACCESS Employment is an employment agency. We connect employers to qualified job seekers, essentially. And most of our job seekers are internationally trained professionals. So all of their education, their skills and experience are overseas. And so we have some programs that benefit them, and what we call bridging programs. Essentially, it's designed to bridge their skills, education, and experience so that they have access to the supports they need in order to find commensurate work here in Canada. And we have several bridging programs with different sectors, and supply chain is one of them. And this is where we're connected, Tatiana, with the work that we do. And of course, with Liliana overseeing it.
This sounds great, Han. And you mentioned I've been working with ACCESS Employment. Well, I've been delighted to be a guest speaker since 2017, and I can tell you that every single person I meet impressed me. I was impressed with the quality of your candidates. A lot of them I follow on LinkedIn. It's an absolute joy to see their success stories and how they progress and what value they bring to the economy. So I can speak to the people, to the quality of your candidates. And that's why I wanted to give you another opportunity to educate employers on potential value that you can bring to majority of organizations in Canada. As we know that in Canada, we do have this term that's called Canadian experience, and sometimes people interpret it in a different way. So I would like to hear your opinion. What do you think Canadian experience mean to employers?
Yeah, when I hear that question, it's such an odd question because we're such a globalized economy. So what does it mean? Does it mean it's a Canadian business that's working overseas? And so that overseas person working for a Canadian company, do they have Canadian experience even though they worked in a different country? Or is it a foreign company that comes to Canada and operates in Canada in the Canadian market? And so really, that's the sort of question I ask when employers ask that question. But I think the underlying, I guess, message or information that they're trying to get is, can you adapt to the culture, the work culture? Can you work in teams? Do you know Canadian laws, policies, or agreements that might affect the job? So I think it's an understanding of the Canadian labor market and understanding the nuances that's happening in the workforce. And so as a job seeker, when you're asked this question, it's really great to highlight your skills and experience and perhaps link it for the employer. So I worked for a company A, B, and C back home. It is equivalent to here, this company here in Canada, and this is what I did. And so that answers a lot of the employer questions or I guess the concern that they might have about being able to do the job. So really, I think the underlying question that they want to know is, can you do the job? And are you flexible enough to work with the team and adapt to the culture here?
Okay, that sounds good. My next question would be to Liliana, because I know Liliana, you oversee supply chain connection programs, and you work specifically with employers, and you have very hands-on experience in placing candidates with Canadian companies. How do you address that concern? Maybe it's soft skills that you train people on. What is your approach to tailoring new workforce to the Canadian requirements, essentially giving them this Canadian experience?
Absolutely. So the biggest concern, as we just talked about, of Canadian employers may be the candidates perceived an ability to integrate into an existing team quickly and seamlessly. So the way we bridge this concern or this gap is through the Canadian workplace culture workshops that we offer within our bridging program, where we focus on business communication skills and soft skills, including creative thinking and problem solving, which is what's considered a future skill, but also, as I mentioned, business communication, also team playing, also negotiation, also ability to integrate, so adaptability. So these are the types of soft skills that we focus on in our bridging program. Another component that definitely helps kind of overcome that concern that employers may have is our experiential learning component that we introduce to our programs, which offers an opportunity for our program participants to work on a live project, or real life project, if you will, that gives them even stronger understanding of the Canadian workplace and offers that opportunity to showcase their skills, their qualifications, but also to kind of understand better the expectations of a Canadian employer. So these are, in very general terms, these are the things that we kind of do to overcome that concern of our employers.
Yeah, and you mentioned the real life programs and projects. So do you partner with real Canadian employers and they have those ongoing projects so they can consider your candidates as part of their decision-making team? So is that?
Absolutely, that's the thing. So our groups work on, they have 3 weeks to work on a real life project. We partner with a Canadian employer. They assign a project to our groups, they work on the project, and these are real projects, by the way. I mean, certain challenges maybe that organizations are trying to find solutions for, or projects that they are kind of piloting. So our groups work on the projects, provide solutions, and they are very innovative solutions. We have groups coming from all over the world, qualified professionals, giving this fresh and new innovative perspective to Canadian employers. And so most of the cases, employers actually implement the solutions and the ideas that our groups provide. They implement them to their work and their organization. So it's a very, very interesting project. Definitely a win-win for both employers and our groups. Our participants gain that Canadian experience, understand that Canadian perspective. Employers, on the other hand, gain access to very qualified pool of candidates, but also get those wonderful solutions, innovative solutions to the problems and challenges that they face.
Oh, that's great, Liliana. I'm very delighted to hear that. And my next question would be to you. I know that you are very tightly connected to Canadian labor market, and I'm sure you work with a lot of employers of different categories. Can you name a few companies that partner with ACCES right now, and what programs that you have at ACCES Employment? So I just want to know more about.
Sure. And just going back to the previous question about the concern from employers, I think it might be, do they have an equivalent to a master's degree or a bachelor's degree? Do they have high language level skills? So the answer is yes. The immigration process has that, so that you submit an equivalency of a master's or a high language level, meaning that you're able to communicate fluently. So for employers, individuals that go through our program have high levels of education and language levels, and so they can start the job right away, and of course legally able to work in Canada. So just to kind of appease some of the concerns that employers might have. So we work with over 2,300 employers in the Greater Toronto area. With our pre-arrival program, we work with more across the nation. So in BC and New Brunswick, but mainly here in the GTA. And we work, Liliana, I think you can list them because I know you normally work with them, Black & McDonald, SICAN. What are the other employers that we work with? I'm sure you
Staples, very close relations with Staples, SICAN, NFI. Our clients get employment in big corporations like Maple Leaf, Home Depot, Purolator, and kind of an array of other big and medium-sized companies as well, and of course small size also.
Yeah, majority of our connections are small, medium sizes, but of course we have large agencies such as Accenture and the TD Banks of the world. And not only do they hire, but they mentor our job seekers. So they come in for speed mentoring, become a mentor or guest speaker, or become a sponsor or donor of the agency. So we work with a lot of agencies.
Actually, my family benefited from your connection with TD Bank because my husband, when we were new to Canada, we were very frustrated and couldn't find job here, and he went to ACCESS Employment and he got a mentor from TD Bank. And I mean, this, when I talk about it, it always touches my heart. He found his first job in Canada thanks to ACCESS Employment. If that didn't happen 10 years ago, who knows what I would be doing right now and where our family would be. So thank you so much. This is like, I'm very grateful. My gratitude is endless, and I can speak from someone who experienced it, and you're doing amazing things in the market. And I think the more employers are aware of this program, the better our economy is going to be in the future. Especially these days, we need qualified labor with outside of the box thinking. We need resilient people, and immigrants definitely are resilient people. So Liliana, my question to you, how do you select candidates for your supply chain program specifically? What is the criteria, and how different is the person who went through the program from someone who didn't go through the program?
So our program is designed for internationally trained supply chain professionals. So we are looking at minimum of 2 years of supply chain experience outside Canada. And of course, our candidates come with years of experience. So it's never only 2 years, it's mostly around 10 and even more. But that's the first criteria that we look at, supply chain experience outside Canada. Obviously, we are looking for people with candidates with strong communication skills and post-secondary degree in supply chain or related. All our candidates, when they come to our program, they are legally able to work in Canada, of course, and they have credentials, as Han mentioned, credentials and actually language skills already assessed prior to coming to the country. So these are the main criteria. To understand the program better, we offer weekly information sessions where we discuss the program, the benefits of the program, and we also help them understand whether the program is a good match for them, for what they are looking for. If it is, then of course they can apply for admission to the program. If it is not, for various reasons, we offer referrals to other programs and services that are offered within ACCESS. So nobody leaves unattended or not assisted. We definitely cater to everyone, but mainly our supply chain candidates. So if we are not able to offer a spot in the program is in big demand, I have to say. So we are very happy that there is a big need, but also that we are able to attend to that need. So we never leave anybody unattended or unassisted. We are always within ACCESS. We have so many programs and services that we are always able to assist a job seeker, a newcomer or not a newcomer, even regular job seekers here from Canada, but tons of programs and assistance available.
And I actually learned a lot from you guys because you always implement innovative ideas. You work on the presentation of your candidates to employers. I know that you practiced recording video, elevator speech, and interview prep. You also do the resume writing tips.
Oh, yeah.
So what is, let's say if employer wants to connect with ACCESS Employment and explore the database, what sort of resources they will have access to?
So, right. So what we try to do is we try to present our candidates or program participants kind of. We try to create the package that would, yeah, profiles, exactly, that's what I'm getting at. So we create those profiles of our candidates or our program participants where they talk about their strengths and their achievements, so that it's easy for an employer to kind of see what type of a candidate we offer. We obviously, for specific postings or employment opportunities, we pre-select candidates, so we send a bunch of resumes and profiles catering to a specific employment opportunity. But what we do is when our groups graduate, we consider them employment ready, so they are fully ready to integrate into a workforce here in Canada. We prepare profiles of the whole group and we send those profiles to our employers so that they can have an overview of what fresh, so to speak, group of candidates they can select from. And if they are interested in a particular individual candidates, we definitely offer send them resumes, cover letters, very targeted, pre-selected. So it's all available to them. Of course, we offer opportunity to our groups to record their profiles or present themselves on video recording. So that's also available. If an employer wants to see a video recording of our candidates, it's available. They are well prepared. They know the expectations. They understand the selection process or the hiring process. So really, really well prepared for the hiring and recruitment process.
And I can say that, yeah, oh, and so go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, if the employer is not ready to commit to hiring, there is a way to build your talent pipeline. And one of the ways is experiential learning, as Liliana was just talking about. So if you have a project challenge, provide it to us and we would be working with the participants, and the employer would be able to meet with them, and also speed mentoring. And so if you'd like to do, for example, a mock interview at a speed mentoring manner, and where you do a 10-minute interview with a candidate, move to the next one, to the next 10 minutes, and you meet 20 candidates at the same time, it's a great way to really see all the top quality candidates that are out there. And again, just making that connection and building that pipeline if the employer is not quite ready to commit to hiring. So there are other ways, guest speaking as well too, coming in and meeting the clients. So in addition to the hiring, there are other ways to build talent pipeline, connecting with the talent that we have.
And especially, and I agree with you, among hiring managers, we have a lot of former immigrants, and it's a great way for them to give back and share their success story, share their experience, and become guest speakers, become mentors, and eventually they can have access to the workforce that is very qualified and have the first-hand experience. So Han and Liliana, this question is for both of you. So if someone who's watching us right now, whether it's a hiring manager or a human resources professional, if they are interested in exploring the database and in screening the resumes, or maybe participating as a mentor or a guest speaker, what would be their step-by-step enrollment process? Who should they contact, and how does that work?
Our team. So we, just to, my name, Tran, you can find me on LinkedIn, and also as well as Liliana, but you could also email us, reach out to us via email. It's the initial of our first name and our last name. So it's htran@access, employment.ca. And so you can reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to collaborate, and work with all the employers. And then just going back to the benefits of diverse you know, diverse workforce. We know that, you know, it just, of course, makes great social sense, but it also makes economic sense, because we know that those that are more diverse outperform those that are not diverse, and profitability is much higher in those that are diversifying their workforce. And so ACCES can help with that. So Liliana, I think your team as well can assist.
Oh, absolutely, yes. So either an email or a LinkedIn connection, we are absolutely open to that. Or if you go to the website, accessemployment.ca, you can find our program and the bridging programs, and there is contact information on our webpage there as well. So my whole team are absolutely ready and happy to assist.
And we also have a corporate engagement department. And so for a bigger scale, for example, if you have a corporate social responsibility that you'd like to tap corporate engagement, be able to connect with the department, figure out on a bigger global, like bigger scale, and how we can do that. But when it comes to the recruitment selection, our teams can assist for sure.
Yes, this is amazing. And I'm glad you mentioned diversity, Hansel, because these days, I think the teams who survive are the ones that are very diverse, and diversity is a byproduct of inclusiveness. And your inclusiveness, and I'm speaking to employers right now, starts when you post a job online or when you open it to your internal candidates, to your internal employees. When you include more candidates, when you explore the variety of people in the market, you're building yourself very strong competitive advantage, because these days when economy is very global, when every idea can make a huge difference, this is technically a survival approach these days in the corporate economy. So I think ACCES Employment is doing an amazing job for the entire country. And tomorrow we celebrate Canada Day, and I'm really glad that we're talking about immigration, we're talking about professional newcomers who come to our country, because it shows them and gives them opportunities to develop and grow. And of course, the last thing we want is people being disappointed in Canada. So the more support we offer, and I really want to wish you good luck. I wish you all the best. And please, if you have something else to share with our potentially mentors, employers, and of course those people who are immigrating to Canada or who have immigrated to Canada and don't know about ACCES Employment, I would like to hear your message to all of them, and very happy.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us here today. Very grateful for this opportunity to talk to you. And I'm so happy that you're a success and your husband's story is a success. That's what we love to hear. And the fact that you also want to give back and give back to the community to uplift other newcomers. So very happy to be part of that movement for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I wanted to add, Tatiana, thank you for having us here today, but also thank you for your involvement in mentoring and coaching our groups. It's very valuable. You are a great mentor, you are a great coach, and you yourself are a success story that they definitely can look up to and follow. We need that for them because they are new to this country. So apart from the thing what we do when we prepare them for employment here, we also want to motivate them and show them that the success here is absolutely possible. So thank you for being there for them and helping us prepare them for the Canadian labor market.
Thank you very much, Han. Thank you very much, Liliana. It's a great pleasure, and thank you for your time today. I wish you happy Canada Day.
Canada Day to you too.
Thank you. And of course, we will connect if we have more questions from our audience. We will always connect once again, and I will post all your contact information on LinkedIn and on the YouTube. So thank you so much. It was a great pleasure having you today.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. Have a great day.